I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, March the 13th, brought to you in part by Livestock Risk Services. That's Dakota Moss there, still working in the Oklahoma National Stockyards Exchange building in Oklahoma City, and of late's been working closely with National Livestock Credit Corporation. But he's got a lot of agents that work right along with him. They are your LRP specialists. Don't let this market get away from you. If you got cattle turned out this summer, rest easy and enjoy your summer, knowing that you've got those cattle secured with an LRP. For more information, go to livestockriskservices.com. Seize the market. And you guys are thinking, well, what are you talking about? This market gets better every day. The market's better now than it was when I started recording this report. And I don't doubt that. I mean, these grazing cattle just keep getting higher and keep getting higher and keep getting higher. Don't miss out on it. And I don't really give you advice that often. Some of you guys listen to what I have to say and you glean something from that. But I'm going to give you guys some advice. Some of you small producers, you've got calves or middleweight cattle to sell, maybe some grazing type yearlings that you think got some size to them. They can weigh up in the 7s. If they got some condition to them, other people will put them together. They'll turn them out and graze them, put some cheap weight on them this summer, and then send them to the feedlot. But if you've got cattle like that, especially if you're in the southeast or in Missouri or Illinois or eastern Oklahoma, some places like that. If you've got some cattle like that and you've just been hanging on to them and you've been watching this market get higher every single day, it's time to sell them, guys. We've only got a couple, 3 more weeks here of this really, really good market. Now, I'm not saying that the market's not really going to be good, but it's going to be hard to seize that market because there's not going to be a big enough offering around to get the buyers in there that you need to do that. A lot of your guys that are going to turn cattle out, they're going to be full. They're not going to have any more room. The big grazing areas, you turn those cattle out April the 15th. You can't buy cattle April the 13th or the 14th to turn them out on the 15th. You need to buy them this month. Even if they're weaned and ready to go, you still need to get them in, get them processed and ready to go. So don't let this market get away while you're enjoying watching it go up. You need to go ahead and I don't care if it's just your local sale barn, guys. Those guys have orders for those kind of cattle too. But if you're sending them to a bigger regional market, you see how the numbers have kind of went off here the last week or two. We're running out of cattle and everybody's getting full, even though we're on really tight supplies of cattle. But you know, the guys that are putting grazing cattle together, you got to stop at some point. And if you've got cattle in a turnout kind of condition, if you've got calves that are ballers, it's probably too late to get them weaned and ready to go to turn out. But they're still worth a lot of money, but they're not as important on getting rid of them. The market's still going to be good going on later this spring and this summer, but there's just not going to be much going on. And if you bring some nice cattle into a sale, yeah, they'll bring a good price, but they're not going to bring the prices that we're getting right now, as you have order buyers gathering up cattle and putting cattle together for people. Some people thought they were too high 2 months ago, so they waited to get their cattle bought. Now they're scrambling trying to get cattle bought. But you're going to let this thing get away from you, or the best part of it's going to get away from you if you don't hurry up and get something done. Because after we get off into the summer, late spring and summer, yeah, your market's going to be good. There's not going to be really a need for grazing type cattle. We will have a really good market for load lots of feeder type cattle coming off of grazing, whether it be you know, graze out wheat or coming off of grass, especially your midsummer yearlings. They're going to bring a pile of money, guys. But your small groups of grazing type cattle are not going to bring as big of a price as we've seen here for a while, because there's nobody going to be doing that too much. So just giving you guys a warning on that. Get those cattle marketed here while the market's good. Text the word flash to 209 Corbett or 209-267-2488. If you guys enjoy this video market report, you're always confused on how to find it, or it doesn't show up as quickly as you would like to, just pull out your phone right now, text the word flash to 209-267-2488, and every day this report, or a link to this report, will be texted to you. Then you can just hit it with your thumb and watch the feeder flash. Let's talk about your board for Tuesday. April live cattle futures were up 65 cents at 188 1/4. June was up 92 at 183.95. Your back months were all up on live cattle, up 52 to up 75 cents. March feeder cattle up 72 cents at 248.97. April up $1.02 at 254.12. Back months on feeder cattle all up from 57 cents to $1.32. March corn up 3/4 cent at 4.29. March beans up 17 cents at 11.82. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for May down 1.5 cents at 5.97 1/4. Fat cattle trade, of course, it's too early to see anything on a direct basis. I don't know what the deal was. They sold 56 head at 183. I'm not sure what the deal was. They didn't have them entered in the top slot for quality, so I don't know if they were plainer. They probably had them put in too high of a slot. They put them in the 35 to 65, and they were likely less than that as far as quality. But why anybody would sell cattle at 183 when they can get at 185 or 186 out of them, I don't understand that at all. But we did have our price discovery fat cattle auction market up in Yankton, South Dakota. Greg Ryken's got the best fat cattle auction market in the nation. Stockman's livestock market in Yankton there, they had 1,100 in overnight, 1,900 for the fat cattle auction there. We thank Gary Marks for giving us this information. He's going on a little feeder cattle auction tour the rest of this week out to central Nebraska, so hope he enjoys that. But conventional cattle were mostly steady from 180 to 185.5. Now they didn't have any drug-free cattle, or not enough to test the market, but the non-implanted cattle did sell $2 to $3 higher, from 184 to 190, 275. Now you had some buyers in there looking for some cattle with a little bit of go to them and not too heavy weight that were non-implanted, and they paid a big premium for those. They sell from 193 to 198. Gary did comment that your majors in there, or the buyers that were purchasing cattle for the majors, they're still wanting cattle. They just don't want to push the market. They'll take heavy weight cattle that some of the other buyers shy away from. Just anything to get something to hang on a hook there, but they don't want to push the market at all. Box beef cutout values were higher again on Tuesday afternoon. Choice cuts up $1.71 at 310.59. Selects up 72 cents at 299.60. Your slaughter is just getting a little bit further behind with every day that goes by. 233,000 through the first 2 days of the week. 5,000 less than a small last week. 15,000 less than the same point a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Performance Livestock Analytics. Eliminate handwritten notes, double data entry, or complicated software with one easy-to-use solution. It's Performance Beef from Performance Livestock Analytics. For more information, go check them out at performancelivestockanalytics.com. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DVAuction late in the day on Tuesday at 250.17. I don't ever remember your real-time index being over 250. That is a huge price there, guys. And that is a 7-day moving average on 700 to 899 pound steers. A cash auction steers up through your middle 12 states. It was up 73 cents compared to the end of yesterday's trade, or the end of Monday's trade. Excuse me, most of y'all are watching this on Wednesday. But that is a real threshold to cross there, with a real-time index closing above 250. Your most recent CME cash feeder cattle index was 248.26. It's bull sale season. We've got bull sales everywhere, guys. Get on to DVAuction, check them out. The most prestigious sale that we've got here on Wednesday will be the R.A. Brown Spring Bull Sale. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they'll be marking a lot of them, and it'll be a fun one to watch. You can get approved there and get on to DVAuction, view and bid that sale right there here today on Wednesday. Talk about your big feeder cattle auctions happen on Tuesday. Your NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day. Or actually, I want to tell you about one that we usually check on for trends first, and that's Ozarks Regional Stockyard in West Plains, Missouri. Why do we talk about them? Because they consistently have a good test of the market. They have a sale every Tuesday. They don't skip like a lot of your Northern Plains sales. They had 2,350 head this Tuesday, with another 900 through their in-house video they do with help from DVAuction. It's just amazing how well they're doing with that. But check out these trends. Your feeder cattle going right into the feed yard sold steady to $3 higher. Your grazing type cattle, your lighter weight yearlings, and your calves with condition to go out to graze, $6 to $12 higher. That's a good test of the market right there. Now your NationalBeefWire stick out sale of the day was Kimball Livestock Exchange in Kimball, South Dakota. They sold mostly bigger yearlings going right into the feed yard. Look at the changes out to the right side there of your best tested weights. And I'm going to give you the best tested weights. 922 head of 7-weight steers, average 754 at 274.69. 1,006 head of 8-weight steers in Kimball, South Dakota, at an average weight of 842 pounds and a weighted average price of $254.73. My goodness, that is more than a stick-out sale at most places, guys. 679 head of 9-weight steers, Kimball Livestock Exchange, average 928 at 245.65. Look at some big groups of heifers on the weight groups. 553 head of 5-weight heifers, average 563 at 297.31. 302 head of 6-weight heifers, weighted average weight 646, weighted average price 273.88. And 662 head of 7-weight heifers, average 755 pounds, average price $247.77. How about some stick-out deals from Kimball? If all of them put together didn't impress you, how about some stick-out deals? How about 123 steers in Kimball, South Dakota, weighed 912 at 253.60? And then how about 225 head of 774-pound steers, bring 278. Wow. Big time sale at Kimball Livestock Exchange. How about winter livestock? La Junta, Colorado, 169 steer calves weighed 542, bring 350.250. How about Lolly Brothers Livestock Market in Macon, Missouri? Been a long time broadcaster of DVAuction. They sell 60 heifers, people, going to feed. 60 feeding heifers weigh 602 at 287.75. My goodness. How about Atkinson Livestock Market, the old reliable way up there on the Yellow Brick Road in Atkinson, Nebraska. 83 steers weigh 728 at 289.50. Gosh, there's a lot of stick-out deals. But the most impressive that I saw anywhere on Tuesday, and your Mackerson No BS top quote for the day come from old buddy Brad Hahn at Fredonia, Kansas. Fredonia Livestock Auction sells the Justin Ish steers. They were cattle that he had put together to turn out on grass and then end up losing his grass. It might have been the best thing that ever happened to him. He had the cattle all straightened out. Of course, they were long time weaned and hard, dried out. 162 of these steers ready for grazing, weigh 685 and bring 297. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.